beautifuls. I know at this point that the driver for our food is gonna come at any time. He usually comes already, so I'm gonna try to make this video, but today I'm gonna talk about like your weight loss versus your health, and why you would start this journey. So I know that a lot of people start a health journey for weight loss, but I want to let you know that your body is very concerned with what's going on inside. And you could weigh 300 pounds and you're starting this for weight loss. And you can go a month or 2 or 3 without even losing any weight. And then you get frustrated and you get so ticked that this thing doesn't work and you leave. The problem with that is your body needs to heal from the inside out. And most bodies have to heal the inside before it can do anything outside, which would be your weight loss. So there are lots of people who start this weight loss journey, don't lose any weight, fall away, say this diet sucks and this lifestyle sucks, and that, eating healthy is for the birds. I might as well just eat what I want because I'm not losing any weight. However, you have clogged arteries, you have toxins that are built up in your system, you have gut repair that needs to be done. And if you're not healthy enough on the inside, you won't lose any weight because you have to, weight is the toxins. So it has to deal with the other toxins first in your organs before it can deal with the fat cells that are also encapsulating toxins, because that's what fat does. Fat is made to protect the body. So yes, if you eat fat, it will store it as fat. But also when a foreign invader comes into your body, it also gets surrounded by fat. So a lot of times when you release all of this, these toxins out of your body, you're gonna have withdrawal symptoms of, like, they call them like detoxifying. So you're gonna have, if you stop eating sugar, you're gonna have withdrawals to sugar because the bacteria is dying that used to feed off the sugar. It's gonna want you to feed it. And you're gonna crave sugar like crazy because these bacteria want to survive and they're gonna do everything they can. And there's a brain-gut barrier and they can send signals across to your brain saying, hey, we're dying down here, we need some sugar, we need some pop, some cookies, something. And once that stuff starts getting out of your system, then you won't have the cravings that you used to have. And it's the amount of chemicals that is in food now plays tricks on your mind that you want these things. I mean, that's what companies, these are billion-dollar companies. What do you think they do? They research how to get people to eat more of their product. And the chemicals that are in there aren't always on the label because they don't have to be. They only have to be if there's a certain percentage in there and it's the whole FDA labeling thing, and I won't go into that, but I don't trust them with a 10-foot pole. So your body, is healing from all those toxins as you start getting rid of it and putting in good, nutritious food. So you have to give yourself, I guess I would give myself a year. If you want to lose weight, I would say you need to start out with the mindset, I need to eat this way for a year. Because in a year, you are guaranteed to see some sort of results. If you don't see results after 3 or 4 months, then there's something still in your diet that your body doesn't like. So when I first started my weight journey, and it was a weight journey, it wasn't even a health journey at this point, I had to get some, well, I guess it was kind of both. It was kind of a 50-50 because I couldn't get off the couch. So I wanted to feel better, but I knew that it took healing my gut. And my weight loss was actually inflammation that I lost. It wasn't even weight. Like, it was just inflammation. My body was so swollen, and I wish that I would have gotten my inflammation score when I first started, but I didn't. So I really wanted to lose weight, and I'd always wanted to lose weight, like my whole life, but I didn't realize that the weight that I was carrying, a good majority of it was inflammation. It wasn't even fat cells. I did lose fat eventually because 40 pounds, like, that's just excessive inflammation. But when I first started, within the first week or two, I lost 15 pounds almost right away. That would be unhealthy weight loss. And so that wasn't really true weight loss. That was inflammation. And the inflammation was just so excessive that once I stopped doing my old pattern of putting those toxins in my body went, oh, thank you. I can finally start healing. And then started its process of healing. And as the inflammation went down, it wasn't really my body's choice. It just kind of happened. Hey, we don't have to worry about that anymore. Let's start focusing on fixing her organs and detoxifying the liver and the kidneys and getting her heart, moving good and getting the plaque out of the arteries and all of that stuff. And yeah, that still happens as you lose weight. But when I was losing weight so fast, I mean, like in a couple weeks, 15 pounds is like what? Over 2 pounds, of every day. Like, it's just too much. And so the inflammation, when your body doesn't have to deal with that, can start healing you right away. And it's like, okay, nothing that's coming in. Let's back down our defenses. And I mean, the autoimmune I never got sick. Like, my immune was going so strong all the time that any foreign invader that came in, So it was on high alert, and it backed down to, instead of red, it would be like a green, And so it was able to start healing other things. And then as I started healing, then the actual weight loss started happening. So, I always tell people, look at a year perspective. In a year, if you lost 5 pounds, wouldn't it be worth it? Would you want to be 5 pounds heavier would you want to be sick and unhealthy and not have a joy in life anymore? And yeah, sometimes 5 pounds does it for somebody. Sometimes 5 pounds is the difference between being able to walk and not walk. I mean, it's just crucial sometimes. And so you have to look at it in that year perspective and kind of go from there. So what happened was I lost some inflammation, I started healing, and then I just decided that I was going to eat this way and just keep learning. And the more I learned, the healthier I started eating. So I hit many, many plateaus, and one for a really long time. Now, if you have been losing weight, and it's weight, it's not inflammation, you've already lost your inflammation. I mean, there may be a few things still causing inflammation, but you're on a steady weight loss, and all of a sudden you plateau. That tells me that you're doing something wrong. You just have to figure out what it is. So your body has reached a point of like homeostasis. It's like, okay, she's doing this amount of exercising, she's eating this is where I'm balancing. If you don't want the plateau to stay, you need to change something. You need to change either the amount of exercise, or you need to take a good look at your food. And you need to look at your food and say, okay, how can I clean this up a little bit more? Maybe there's something I'm allergic to. Maybe there's something still causing inflammation. And I guarantee you, if you're still eating cheese and dairy products, you need to cut that out, because that is a huge contributor to inflammation. RA and lupus, that's big for them. So look at your dairy, cut that out, because a lot of people will try to just keep dairy in. 70% of people are lactose intolerant and don't even realize that they are. Cut out the dairy and see if that doesn't help. If you think you're eating healthy, you're logging all your food, look at and put it in Chronometer, because you should be writing down everything you eat, every morsel that goes into your body on a food journal, because there is huge statistics, like 60 or 70% of people go back to eating the way that they did after a year if they don't keep a food journal. And then the rest of them fall back after 2 years. Keep a food journal. It becomes second nature just to write it down in the morning. This year, my food journal is more like a daily journal along with food. It keeps track of my bowel movements. It keeps track of if I do any fitness. It keeps track of how much water. It keeps track of my macros and my calories. It keeps track of how I feel in the morning, like body-wise, what kind of mood I'm in the morning. And then it's a journal. So I write down how I felt when I woke up this morning. Like this morning I woke up a little bit sore. It's 90% humidity. I cannot deal with humidity. It just sucks. It's not hot, but it's humid, and it makes my muscles just sore and achy. Of course, I did do rebounding, and this was like my first actual rebound video because I went on the cleanse and I didn't do anything, because your body can only do one thing at a time. So while I was deep cleansing with this whole blessed herbs thing, I didn't do any exercise. I didn't do anything more than what I needed to. I needed my body to focus on cleansing out the toxins. So now I started rebounding, and last night, of course, I'm going to be a little bit sore. It was only 13 minutes, but it was a horrible rebounding for me because it was just more than when you watch the video, you think you can do it until you get on that trampoline and you start bouncing around, and then you're like, holy crap. So I am a little sore. So in my journal, I write down, hey, I was a little sore today. My mood was great. I feel like I'm on top of the world today. It isn't excellent, but it's still good. And I did eat a little more fat yesterday, and I'm kind of looking at that and what's that doing with my mood, because a lot of people, it'll change their mood. But when you start doing your food journal, it's like, it's just part of you. You just do it every day. And I first started out with just logging my food. What did I eat? About how much did I eat? And then if I wanted to put it in a chronometer, I could. So I did start putting it into chronometer, and I kind of plan my day ahead. I already know what I'm eating tomorrow, today. And that's a good way to stay planning and prepping ahead of time, because I can go home today. I know exactly what I'm eating. What do I need to prep tonight so that tomorrow morning, the food that I get together to bring to work isn't so much of a hassle. So I look at my food through chronometer, and when I plateaued, I found out that I was eating like 25% fat. And I wasn't meaning to, but I was. And I want to kind of share with you, I know it's 12 minutes already. I want to share with you what I'm eating today, and you'll see there's like really no fat in there. So I'm eating a cup of mushrooms, a cup of onions, 3 cups of zucchini, a tablespoon of miso, a little bit of tamari sauce, some carrots, and some celery. That's going to be dinner. It's going to be like an Asian soup, and it's all raw. So in there's really no fat. The miso, let me look at miso real quick. Miso, it's 33% fat, so there is some fat in the miso. But it's not like nuts and seeds or anything fatty like coconut type of things or nut butters or anything like that. And then for lunch today, I'm having dragon fruit and strawberries and bananas and jackfruit, along with a head of romaine lettuce. There doesn't seem to be nuts and seeds and fats in that, right? And then I'm not having any dressings or anything like that. Then for breakfast today, I'm having my smoothie. So it's my normal green smoothie. It is 3 cups of like a mixed fruit, a couple bananas, and a bunch of spinach. And then I also put in some dulse flakes, which is kelp type of thing, seaweed. So my fat today, even though I haven't had any nuts or seeds, no flax meal, nothing that would be fatty, my fat percentage right now with that meal is already 7%. So even though I'm not eating fat, I'm still at 7%, and you need to stay under 10%, which means I could have 1 Brazil nut to help my selenium today I probably won't, I guess I will, because I don't have enough mushrooms. Mushrooms has a lot of selenium, but I watch my selenium because of my thyroid. So if I have 1 Brazil nut, I'll add that in and see how much of a difference that makes. Oops. Brazil nut, and each one is 2 grams. I weighed, most of my nuts are about 2 grams, so that's what I put in. Okay. So it was 7, it raised it to 8, okay? So if I had 2 Brazil nuts or 3 Brazil nuts, that would be all I could have because I already hit my 10% fat. So as I was eating before, I didn't realize, I guess, which foods have fat in them. Lettuces have fat in them. Pretty much everything has some sort of fat. Fruits are fatty. Berries are even more fat than what you would realize. And that's the thing, like if you look, and that's why it's important to look and log your food and look through Chronometer. So strawberries have 8% fat. They're almost all fruit is like an 80-10-10 perfect. Bananas are 3% fat. Yesterday I had blueberries. Blueberries are 5% fat. So if you're eating 5% fat and then another 5% off of like strawberries, and then you're having some bananas, I mean, you're getting 5 or 6% fat just from your fruits. So it's a good thing to look at your diet, clean it up just a little bit, and go, okay, I'm really pigging out on the nuts and seeds, or I've got to get rid of my dairy because dairy is pretty much fatty, just pure fat. It's just milk fat, especially cheese. And so, you know, you clean up that a little bit, and then you'll start your weight loss again. And then you look at it again. So I hit my goal weight of 146. It was under 149, but I have shot back up. So now I have looked at my diet, and I have decided that grains, my body doesn't like grains. Even though it doesn't cause a lot of inflammation, it does cause inflammation, and it makes me not feel well. And beans, I've tried to eat beans, they just don't make me feel well. And so when you feel optimal, you realize how unoptimal you felt before. And a lot of people don't realize they feel good and they're doing really well. It's just every now and then they just don't feel good. When you start feeling good every single day, like you are like on top of the world, like you could conquer a whole army by yourself. Like that feeling, if you have that multiple days in a row and then all of a sudden you don't have that feeling, you know something's up. And so for me, and like I said, this is just my personal journey, I can't eat cooked food for a variety of reasons. And I've mentioned this in other videos, but I'll mention it again. Cooked food provides me with a slippery slope. That's what it does. If I eat a cooked sweet potato, it leads me to eat regular potatoes, which leads me to eat French fries and tater tots, which have oil in them. And all of a sudden, I'm eating gluten or rice or anything like that that I really wasn't set on eating just because I had a sweet potato. My body has an internal brain, this little person in there that, hey, you've only had one bite, you can have another one. Hey, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a little bit of inflammation. You felt really good. It's okay if it just inflames you a little bit. This is only one little meal. You can go back to eating that the next day. But what happens is I don't. And I see this pattern in me, and I've seen it. I mean, we're going on like a year and 9 months. Like, it just takes time to realize what your body's doing, what it likes, what it doesn't like, and how to kind of tweak to what is your optimal. For me, it is eating raw. I tried out raw for 2 to 3 weeks. I ate on a plan. I ate on Lissa's Raw Food Romance. I ate on her 30-day plan. I felt freaking amazing. Like, I felt the best I felt ever. I hit my goal weight. I had tons and tons of energy. I felt like I could just conquer the world. And when I started adding in cooked food, my slope just, and pretty soon I felt like crap, and I just was sore all the time, and I couldn't deal, and I couldn't function, and like just from cooked food, because it was sliding me back into eating the gluten and the corn and stuff like that my body was not okay with and didn't feel optimal at. So now that I recognize the pattern that it is cooked food that I'm addicted to, that it is a slippery slope for me, I have decided that for me to be free of food addiction, I need to stay raw. And some people will look at it as the glass half empty and say, oh my gosh, look at how much you're restricting. But for me, what I'm restricting is inflammation, weight gain, tired, fatigue, muscles, joint pain. Like, I would rather restrict that and be able to live a life that I feel awesome. And I can play and I can move and I can go places and do things. And that's what I'm restricting, is the bad stuff, not the food. The food is the cause, the root cause of the bad stuff. And so I choose to look at the glass as half full, because I can eat any fruit I want. Think of all the fruits in the world. I could eat anything, any fruit that I wanted. I can eat any vegetable that I want, anything. And I feel amazing. And I love that I love my food. I love that my taste buds taste a strawberry, and the taste of a strawberry is so exploding with flavor that when I would eat a burger, I would have to load it up with stuff. Like, who eats a plain hamburger? It tastes like crap. You have to load it up with ketchup, mustard, mayo, pickles, onions, tomatoes. Like, if you have to add something to your food to make it taste amazing, maybe you shouldn't be eating it. Like, it's just, I don't know. I just, this is my lunch today. I can't, there's so many good things in here. There's jackfruit, and there's, this right here is dragon fruit and strawberries and bananas, and I'm having it with this huge thing of romaine lettuce, and like the flavors of that food outdo anything that I could ever eat on my old diet. Anything. Now all that food tastes like crap. If I eat a piece of bread, it tastes like yeast. Like, it would be like you sucking down a mouthful of yeast. Like, it's just disgusting to me. And eating cheese tastes like I'm eating wax. Remember those waxed lips that you, like, that's what it feels like to me. It doesn't taste good. There's no amount of spices that could make it taste good. Good morning. And so for me, it's just, everything's changed. And for me, it's not about restricting. It's about freedom from food addiction, freedom from inflammation, freedom from sore muscles, and freedom from the couch. So, you may start this as a weight loss journey, but it is so much more than that, because your body needs to heal from the inside out before you can even think about dumping the rest of the toxins that are stored in your fat. It has to detox you from the inside out. So, if you need some help identifying, what's going on, if you've hit a plateau, hit me up, message me, throw me a message down here. I'm on Instagram at Fit Farming Mom. I'm on Facebook, Fit Farming Mama. Find me, I will help you. But just realize that this is a journey that you're on, and it's not 5 seconds and you're gonna lose weight, because that's a diet, and diets don't work. When you diet, when you come off the diet, you gain all of it back, because it is a lifestyle that you need to do for the rest of your life. And if you're not ready to make the commitment for the rest of your life, even though it may be only one day at a time you can do it, you have to know in your mind that this is the rest of your life. And if you can't understand that and you're not ready to take that leap, you're gonna fail. You automatically are gonna fail. It is a one day at a time journey, but just know that in the back of your mind, you'll have to do this for the rest of your life. Just take it one day at a time. And you can do this. I know you can. So thanks so much for watching, and have a very blessed day.